We've got a situation on this chart that has literally never happened before. I'm going to be covering this with you in today's video, giving you guys some honestly really uncomfortable analysis. And there is some data that I'm going to share with you that, like, I saw this and my jaw fucking dropped. Like, honestly, I was like, this is disgusting. This is absolutely, like, not what I would like to see right now. And even though I'm still far more optimistic than most people in the space, I still think that, yeah, there is something here. There is something here, and we have to cover it. And this is to do with some very, very long-term analysis. We're in December. We're coming up to the end of the year. What a fucking year it's been. And what I want to do is I want to show you the yearly chart. Okay, this is the 12-month chart right here, going back pretty much as far as we have data. Look at this little dinosaur. Made it through all the available data. Absolutely beautiful. Right here on the weekly... the yearly time frame. What I want to do is focus your attention on this candle right here, and specifically the fact that Bitcoin on this chart stretching back to 2010, not 2011, has only had 3 red candles, right? Or in this case, orange. And again, we don't know if this is going to close as an orange candle, but let's be honest, guys. We got 10 to 12, 13 days left until the end of the year. It's probably not going to change. But we haven't really generally had many, kind of bearish candles throughout Bitcoin's history. And, one of the big things that's meant is Bitcoin has never actually closed, looking at the closes of our candles, Bitcoin has never actually closed a candle lower than the previous candle opened, right? So on this occasion right here, we had a bearish candle, but it didn't close lower than the previous one. On this occasion, we had a bearish candle, but it didn't close lower than the previous one. On this occasion, we might have a bearish candle, and I know this is pretty much a definite, but nothing is 100%, right? We can't be absolutely sure of anything in these markets, so that's why I always speak with a little bit of nuance, and I don't do it just because I'm trying to cover my back legally or anything like that, but because it's bad practice not to, right? It's bad practice, in my opinion, to be reckless with how you speak as a trader. You need to be open to the nuance, but take a look at this. In this case, we will be most likely closing below that previous candle, and that's a first. That is the first time we've ever done this, and that puts us in a dire situation. Now, if you know anything about basic technical analysis just with candles, really, not even chart patterns, you're going to know that when we form candles that look really bad like this, where we eclipse previous candles of trading, right, basically bearish engulfing candles, right, where you have one candle that just completely eclipses the trading activity of another one. This happens in all directions. Generally it's a big sign that we might do something big in that direction, right? So here's a great example where this candle stretches, and it's only by a small margin. It stretches up to $8,500, and the next monthly candle right here eclipses it completely. Just the candle, we're not talking about the wick. It eclipses the candle body completely, and that is a sign that we have a rally to the upside. This is very basic candlestick analysis. And if you don't know about it, then it's probably because you haven't got a proper good education of what trading analysis is. And this is something that we offer you guys inside of 𝗬𝗙𝐻𝑖ghts VIP when you get the 𝗬𝗙𝐻𝑖ghts Academy course side by side for free. VIP is where you see absolutely everything I'm doing in the market from A to Z, every trade I'm making. But the course is where you learn everything that I know. Every single bit of analysis and trading and strategy that I have is inside of that course. And I just want to highlight to you guys that we're running a 60% off sale right now for our quarterly and yearly packages. Yearly packages also get phone calls with me anytime you like. It's been incredibly useful for our yearly members. We have completely transformed and created traders using these packages, and you are getting 60% off. I'm pretty sure that's our biggest discount ever. So go ahead and follow these steps on screen right here, just clicking on these red boxes to get inside if that's something that interests you. But bringing it back to the chart here, this candlestick analysis is very, very useful. It generally can, give us a lot of hints. And what this is showing us right now is it's nothing particularly great, in my opinion. The thing is that the last kind of big reversal, and this is the thing, is like if we are having a yearly candle for the first time in Bitcoin. And by the way, I just want you guys to bear in mind that we've only got 13 candles. It doesn't count the first one. We've only got 13 candles of history here, right? And we're actually in the 13th one right now, so it's not like there's a large data set to choose from. So this is very this is certainly not particularly strong analysis in and of itself, and you're going to see how I'm going to add more to this later on. So if you're excited for that, do me a favor, favor and smash up the likes. Make sure you are subscribed as well for this very time-sensitive content. I already know that the bears have got the lotion out because this is some real bear porn in today's video. The thing is if you are losing candles like this, you might have to look to come down to the next area where we get key reversals. And on this chart, that is going to be right here at about $4,000, or somewhere between $3,000 to $4,000. I mean, the price levels are very hard to see because obviously we've managed to rally up like 20 times higher than that now. But, this was kind of the last real reversal zone that Bitcoin actually had on its chart. And that applies here and with this wick right here as well. I'm not able to get nice lines on this chart right now, but it applies right here and it applied back here as well. And that would be kind of our next potential reversal zone. It's also been given to you right here with this beautiful chart with a line on it. And the thing is that that would be quite a substantial further drop. But there is something that I think is pretty cool, and it's actually on this chart right here. Right now we're using the monthly time frame, so every candle represents 1 month of history. And if we just take a parallel channel that kind of stretches from the high that we managed to set, and I think this was 2014 on the one of the big rallies. I'm not actually entirely sure where this price history came in. Yeah, this was the $1,000 peak that we got for the first time, I think. If we stretch a line, giving support right here and resistance with these two resistance levels up here, we get a really interesting parallel channel. And what I want to focus your attention on is the midpoint of this channel. Now, again, something you may or may not know is that if you're looking at channels, something like this, generally that midpoint line is going to be absolutely critical for the market. And you can see that, we were able to use this line as, not only resistance, but also as support on multiple occasions. And that gives us a really interesting, kind of setup right here, because that would potentially give us some support, which I'll talk about a little bit later, potentially some resistance, and also just the bottom of this channel does put us down at $3,500 at some point around the end of 2023. So pretty damn horrible chart setup right here. That's assuming that we, kind of travel down with the same speed that we've already done so, which, may or may not happen. We don't know, and it's completely pointless to speculate on something like that. But I think it is interesting to just see where some of these support levels line up. And this alone as well also isn't particularly strong analysis, but I want to sprinkle something on here that you bears are going to absolutely love. You're going to be plastering this shit on your wall, sticking it to your damn fridge, going to be removing the picture of your children just to put this chart up on instead. And it is the number of Bitcoin transactions that we're seeing on a daily basis. And you might see where this is going. This is the total amount of transactions that are executed on the blockchain successfully. And if we zoom this right out, right, if we take a big look at this, what I want to show you is the lows that we had down here in terms of transaction counts, and compare it to what we're looking at right now. I'm not actually showing you the right thing. I'm looking at this right here, my bad. The transactions that we had when the market bottomed out previously, if we zoom in and take a little bit of a closer look, we're looking at anywhere between kind of, 226 all the way up to 450,000 transactions. And, the bulk of that would have been happening around kind of, the high 200 mark, low 300 mark, where we're getting, this amount of daily transaction volume on Bitcoin. And if we take a look at what we're looking at right now, we're already, kind of lower than that, we're not really peaking as much as we were previously. We're not even getting into the 300. We're stuck around the kind of mid, low, sometimes high 200s. It's fluctuating. I mean, it's oscillating quite a bit, but bottom line, we're not seeing an increase in even in the peak of the bull market. We're not seeing like particularly high transaction counts, right? I mean, this was a little bit better, but one of the things that this potentially means, and again, I don't really want to be like jump into conclusions or anything right now, but one of the things that this potentially means is people aren't using Bitcoin, right? I mean, if Bitcoin was, and we already know this, right? I mean, I've been talking about this on the YouTube channel for a while. This is one of the only, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. I love Bitcoin to death, and I absolutely hate everything else. But, I'm not even accepted in that community sometimes because of the one thing that I say with a lot of confidence, because I'm right about it, which is that, Bitcoin was originally designed to be used as a currency way back in 08, 09, when it launched. And and it's not being used as a currency, right? I mean, people are, and there's no room for interpretation or argument on this. People don't use Bitcoin as a currency. They only, generally use it for speculation, right, to make money in the financial markets, and that's proven here, because we're not seeing it being used as a currency, and that's not a surprise. Now, that alone, people will hate me for, and you're very welcome to dislike the video if you disagree, and please do, because it helps with engagement, whether you like or dislike, it's fine. But what I'm really interested in focusing your attention on is just the fact that we're not even seeing much use, right? Like, okay, we're not seeing use as a currency, cool, but it doesn't even look like people are using it, like, at all, for anything, and that is something that I'm concerned about. In fact, I've got the numbers here on the side. I want to read this to you. When we saw the transaction count for Bitcoin at a price of $3,500, $3,400. Let's actually see if I can pull this up for you. Back here, when the price was at $3,400, where were we? Somewhere around here. We had a transaction count of, sorry, I've got the date wrong here. One sec. We're looking at the 6th of February, 2019. So that's going to be right here. Yeah, right here. I can't really zoom in very much. Let's just get this, make it a little bit easier. 6th of February, right here. We're at a price of $3,400, and we've got 350,000 transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain on that day. That's right, so 350,000 times that Bitcoin has moved in that day. If we take a look at what we're seeing today, and compare that kind of data, zoom in a little bit more and just get the most accurate, the most recent data that we have available, which is, well, yesterday, not today. We're seeing a price of Bitcoin of $16,700 with a transaction count of 212,000. In fact, if we take the day before, it's 260, 280, even depending on when you look. I mean, it's not going much higher than 290. And all of these numbers are still lower than what we saw last time when the market was at $3,500. And I'm not, this doesn't necessarily mean that Bitcoin is dead or is going to die, but what do you want to see when the price of Bitcoin is 5 times higher? When the price of Bitcoin is 5 times higher, I'm not saying I want to see 5 times higher transactions, although I do. But what I'm absolutely saying is I don't want to see less transactions now than what we had previously. And I don't want to see less transactions at the peak of the market than what we had previously when the price was nearly 20 times lower. That is an incredibly concerning sign, right? I mean, as far as on-chain, this is called on-chain analysis. If you don't already know, this is analysis of the blockchain, right? With conventional traditional markets, we have access to price data, time data, volume data, and that's it, right? And based off that, we can kind of get more stuff. You can throw in other things like, I don't know, order books or whatever, but these are the 3 main things that you have is price, time, and volume. With Bitcoin, with the blockchain, with crypto, we have an entirely new dimension of analysis, and that's this on-chain analysis. We can literally see where every transaction goes, right? And when it's moving and how much is moving and who's sending it to who, and a bunch of amazing stuff. I mean, this dimension of analysis in and of itself is a gift from God, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it is ridiculous how much we can see, when we look at data like this. And unfortunately, to me, this is showing that, we might have a bit of a problem here. We might have a bit of a problem here. And I think that's something that's important to address. One thing that I think some people are going to be asking, rightfully so, is why would Bitcoin right now be worth more than it was when we were in this kind of phase right here with the market right at the bottom, when we've got the FTX collapse, when we've got Binance suffering a bunch of FUD, when we've got USDT under attack again, when there's heavy regulation coming in. Why would Bitcoin be at a higher price level? And I've got my millions of answers to those questions. And I'm not even saying that that's my perspective. I think that's quite a naive perspective to take, because I've been saying for a while, FTX has nothing to do with Bitcoin. Binance is fine. I don't think there's a problem with Binance. I don't know. and I certainly don't use Binance because I don't like them, but I think they're fine. USDT has stood the test of time. Heavy incoming regulations, yeah, that's a bit of a bad thing. But bottom line, you can't really regulate crypto. It's not going to happen, really, is it? So these are things that I have as kind of answers to each of these questions. The regulation one is a lot longer. I mean, you certainly can regulate crypto, but bottom line, I mean, there's always real what crypto really is. You can't touch it, and that's the beauty of it. But bottom line, I mean, these are still factors that I think other people are going to be concerned about, and that's why I'm here highlighting them to you. These are things that people are going to be looking at, and ultimately, it doesn't matter if you're right or they're right. I mean, if enough people believe a lie and they push their money in that direction, things are going to drop, and I think that's what we've already seen anyway. So, we've still got to consider these things nonetheless. Now, there is a silver lining, and the silver lining is with this chart right here. If we take a look at this chart, if you look at where these 12-month candles have closed and opened and where this wick puts us at, this was the 2019 candle, if I'm not mistaken, where we had that big rally up to $14,000. This one price level just keeps coming back, and it is $13,900, $14,000. This is the key price level that I've been watching on this channel for a very, very long time with you guys. You already know this if you're subscribed and you've been engaging with this content, so thank you all very much. This 14K price level is essential for Bitcoin, in my opinion, and I think it could be what saves Bitcoin if we end up dropping, instead of dropping down to the next reversal zone, which would be down at about $3,000, right? So that's not to say that we have to fall down to reversal zones. We could stop dropping below this. We could stop before this, sorry. We could stop dropping in between 14 and 3. We could stop dropping at 3 or below, right? Any of these things are possible, and I'm not trying to say that I hold the answers here, but what I'm interested in is where are the good bounce zones? Where are the bounce zones on this market? And 14K is a number that keeps coming up. It is a phenomenally interesting price level. It's a level that the market has continuously gravitated towards and found reversals at, whether we found reversals to the upside or the downside. 14K has been incredibly useful. When we've managed to break 14K, during uptrends, things have gotten very crazy. One of the biggest trades I ever made of my life was in terms of percentage profits, was right here, where I correctly predicted, also inside of 𝗓𝗡lies VIP, of course, because they see every single trade that I make, that if Bitcoin is able to cross above this 14K level, we're probably going to skyrocket higher. And that's exactly what happened. Now, that was also a very easy trade to make, but many people didn't take it. Many people actually thought that Bitcoin would fail at 14K and so on and so forth. But it's a very, very important price level. Take a look at this. I'm just going to show this to you on a chart that makes a little bit more sense for us. Look at this. That's our high when we formed this big rally from our low down at very low 3K range right up to 14. We take a look at what happened back in 2017, 2018. Look at all of the interaction that this price level is getting. It's getting so much. I can't zoom into a shorter time frame on this chart, but it's getting so much interaction. I mean, you don't need me to zoom in onto a smaller time frame. I mean, this is pretty damn clear to see as far as I'm concerned. We've got a lot going on here. We've got key reversals. We've got the market stalling at this price level. We've got resistance. We've got more support and resistance hits after that. This is a very, very important price level in my opinion. And if we take a look at where that might put us on the next chart that I want to show you, and this is probably the best thing here, is if we go back to that very same midpoint line, that is going to be putting us roughly at $14,000 if we drop down there now. And that would have to be very, very soon, because we're about to lose it. We don't need to be exact. Obviously, we weren't exact with this before on like any occasion, right? But this is pretty damn, I mean, this is pixel perfect as far as I'm concerned right now for this next monthly candle, or I should say our current one and the next one. So this is something that I think could still help Bitcoin and keep us stuck above the midpoint. We've been above the midpoint now since I don't know, like mid 2017, when Bitcoin managed to get above about $2,000, which by the way was like around exactly when I entered the crypto space. I think when Bitcoin was at like 1,800 or something like that, or 2,500, somewhere around that in dollars is when I entered the crypto space. So early 2017, you know, and it's been 5.5 years, legends. I am deep in this shit, and I'm not going anywhere. I am not going anywhere. But right here, yeah, we do have this very, very interesting setup where we haven't dropped below that midpoint. And if we are going to keep that trend, then this could actually be something that's well worth paying attention to. Another chart that I also want to draw to your attention, and this is probably my favorite chart as well, this plus what I'm showing you right now, plus this what I'm about to show you, is this chart right here that shows you when we see the green weekly cloud. You guys wonder why I use the Ichimoku cloud so much. Like, a lot of people that don't understand this indicator, or more importantly, because this is a hard indicator, a lot of people that don't take the time to learn it will think that I'm I don't know, like fucking crazy or something for talking about it. But this is actually, the Ichimoku cloud has so much depth to it that I don't even talk to you about on this YouTube channel. And one example of that is right here, where when we get the green cloud switching into a red cloud, it can indicate reversal points. Look at this, guys. It did indicate a reversal point on this occasion. The market from its all-time high down to its low dropped by 83% across a time period of 378 days. On this occasion here, we're looking at the cloud turning from green to red, a potential, you know, basically a flip right here, giving us some really interesting time-based analysis, because that's what this indicator is. Not only is it price-based analysis, but it's also time. It goes into the future, for fuck's sakes. I mean, this is a life hack. I mean, I don't understand how... it's fine. I'd like to keep it this way. I don't want everybody to be using this, because then it might end up being less useful. But wow, I mean, like, for you guys and for me, this is crazy. This is unreal in terms of accuracy. You know, and we take a look at when this flips from green into red, giving us this red line down at the 27th of February, basically end of February next year. You know, that is a very, very interesting time frame to see a potential bottom for Bitcoin. It actually makes a lot of sense, really, doesn't it? And if we take a look at where this would put us if we drop down to 14k, that would be an 80% correction across 469 days if we go all the way there. And you could even say that the bear market started from here, which would make it significantly longer. The longer the bear market, the more realistic this is, in my opinion. You know, if we've been stuck in a range like this for a little bit more time, that just makes it all the more realistic, as far as I'm concerned, that we will be looking at a situation where this is a real market bottom. The markets are maturing, market cycles are getting longer. These are things that we would expect in the market, and that is definitely something that's caught my attention. So you know, quite a towards the beginning, quite a bearish video. I mean, there's some data here that I don't even know what to say to you guys. Like, this is sad. Like, it's straight up just sad, and I don't like it. You know, I mean, what do you make out of this? Like, I mean, I'm just saying the facts here, right? Like, I mean, some of you guys might be a little bit too sensitive to hear this kind of thing. You already know the deal. Just get the fuck off the channel. This ain't for you. But bottom line, guys, I mean, you know, you want to see higher transaction volume for Bitcoin, like, at least at the peaks, for fuck's sakes, like, at least at the peaks. But yeah, we're not getting it. We're not. And, you know, this could be, you know, down to a lot of different reasons. I mean, it could be that, you know, the market was just in kind of different place technologically back here. It could be manipulated. It could be that, you know, a lot of people decided to go into altcoins and NFTs and shitcoins and so on, you know, so, you know, Bitcoin wasn't, you know, as useful. It could be that Bitcoin is too expensive. I don't know. And ultimately it doesn't matter, because we've got low numbers here. I mean, it's just not being used that much, and that's pretty clear to see. There's another bit of data that I didn't even show you guys, but I'm going to bring it on right now anyway. And this shows you, you know, and again, I mean, it's not the kind of thing that I like to bring up, but I mean, facts are facts. If we take a look at the number of active addresses, guys, what I want to show you is yeah, kind of going back to this range when we were at our lows compared to where we are right now. We've got about 900,000, 1 million active addresses back there right now, and back then it was about, you know, 33% less, about 500-600k. And just to confirm what we're talking about here, we're looking at the number of unique addresses that were active in the network, either as a sender or receiver. So, you know, this is quite an open metric right here, but it does show us that, yeah, I mean, we're just not seeing. I mean, the good news is that it's not significantly lower than our all-time high, you know, but even the 2017 peak compared to the 2021 peaks. I mean, it's really, we didn't get much higher. We really didn't get much higher on this peak right here. I mean, like 1.2, 1.3 mil, and then up here, what did we reach? Like 1.3. I mean, really not that. We're not getting. We're not seeing it be picked up. Is my point. This is according to data that I want to be proven wrong on this, but I'm just laying out the facts. I'm not even giving you opinions right here. These are just straight up facts. And again, I mean, you can choose to like them or not. You can choose to believe them or not, but facts remain facts regardless of how you feel. And that's just the God's honest truth about it. So there we are. Quite a video from me. This is all very long-term analysis, and it's not that bad overall. Looking at a 14k bottom, a price level that makes a lot of sense. Looking at this kind of time frame, the way it lines up, I'm not the kind of guy to say I think we're going to bottom on X day, because I think that kind of analysis is absolutely futile and so likely to be incorrect that it's not even worth looking at. And ultimately, that's how I feel about all long-term analysis, which is why I don't generally cover it. But we are at the end of the year, and we've got some very interesting data here, and we've got some conclusions that we can start to at least partially draw in our head right now, and that I think puts us in a really interesting position. If we bring it back to the short-term chart now, we're not doing anything particularly interesting. We're just kind of, we fell down to a support area. We're rising up slowly. We're forming the very same classic pattern that almost always results in a dump. So I wish I could be more optimistic with you guys. The good news is that we have support here, so that's great. I do like seeing that. But bottom line, things aren't. I mean, it's hard for me to tell you why I think we should continue to rise up, other than the fact that, again, I just think sentiment's a little bit too polarized to the downside. I think that, with the interest rate news, the inflation news, we've got some good setups in the market. I think that this could still be a pretty decent pullback in a wider uptrend. That's something that I am keeping an eye on right here. This was always a support level that was important for Bitcoin. I mean, from basically this point onwards, end of November and onwards, this has been an important support level, so it's good to see that we came back down to tag it. And I think I also showed you the Fibonacci retracement in a recent video. We came down to a pretty damn good level. We came down to the 618 retracement. So as far as the Fibonacci retracement goes, there's actually the best thing we could have seen on the chart. Like, hands down, 100% the best thing we could have seen on the chart. And that's the, kind of analysis that I think balances out this really extreme bear porn that I've been covering with you guys. And I fully believe it. I mean, I wouldn't want to discredit this whatsoever. I think that this is extremely strong in terms of the signs that we're seeing here, for why this thing might continue to travel up in the short term, maybe even in the midterm. For now, I'm just going to wait to see, honestly. I mean, it's quite hard to pick a side just as it stands right now, and I think the long-term analysis also looks, not too bad overall. Guys, there are some beautiful opportunities in the market right now. I very quickly want to highlight again that I'm running a 60% sale on my VIP group for our quarterly and yearly packages, and our yearly members are getting phone calls with me on tap whenever you like. Incredibly useful package right there. We can discuss anything you like, obviously, just bearing in mind I'm not going to be a financial advisor, even though I'm based in Dubai. There's basically like no regulation around this, so anything is on the table, from what I've been advised anyway. I still won't be a financial advisor, but there's so much we can do, and there's so much I have done, and it's been incredibly useful for our members also. And so just bearing in mind that is 60% off, so you can join by following this red box down in the description below, and then clicking on this red box, and then this one right here. So literally just clicking on the link to join my Telegram channel, then clicking on my name at the bottom of any post inside of 𝐬𝗎𝗡𝐿 Gold, and then clicking on message to ask me how to join VIP. There's no download required here. There's no sign up, nothing like that. Super easy, straightforward to get yourself inside. And of course, I want to bring to your attention this huge bonus that Bybit is offering you guys when you sign up to Bybit using my link in the description down below. You're getting up to $30,000 in deposit bonuses completely free when you sign up to Bybit, make a deposit, and fill and meet some criteria. This is absolutely huge to be able to get $30,000. You do have to deposit a lot of money for it. It's $250,000 to get this 30k bonus, but if you've got that kind of cash casually laying around, 30k would be credited into your account after you make that deposit and trade a little bit. And this varies depending on how much you plan on depositing, right? If you deposit anything over 10k, get $350. Again, this is free money. I know it doesn't sound like huge sums, but this is free money which you can chuck into any trade you like, right? You can do anything you like in the market. And if you make money using this free $350, if you make money using this free $800, this free $5,000, this free $30,000, you get to keep it. You get to withdraw it. That is your money. Prime XBT offering you something very similar. They're going up to I don't have enough fingers for that, $7,000. And that's super, super clear cut and easy. All you have to do is make a deposit, and 7% of that comes back as a deposit bonus into your account. And you can trade any of these crypto markets, which are a little bit more boring, and any of these, commodities, indices, forex markets, which are far more exciting, all with a basic Bitcoin deposit. So very, very cool. I've been with these guys for years. Absolutely love them. They're one of the coolest exchanges on the block. I've said that years ago, and I'm saying it again right now. Super cool that you can trade multiple different entirely different forms of markets, all with just a Bitcoin deposit. So definitely check that out. They're both linked in the description down below. There you go. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Big video from me today. If you have, let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and let me know what else you want to see. This market is absolutely on the brink of something huge, and I want to make sure that I'm covering exactly what you want me to be showing. All right, hope you've enjoyed this one. You know what to do, and I'm out. Bye-bye.